So in the upcoming political broadcast you're about to see, I did get a little bit angry and I was acting a bit like a terrorist, kind of falling into the trap of what the arch-terrorists, otherwise known as the government, do, which is using fear to control people. So I thought I would precede it with just a reminder to myself, which I need to do literally every day, and to all of us, how fortunate we are. You know, if you're watching this, you're probably watching it on a device, and you probably got a roof over your head, and perhaps most of you are living a relatively pain-free existence, so your body is not giving you lots of chronic pain, I have food to eat and as I say, somewhere to live. I've got wonderful family around me. I love what I do in terms of work. I love what I do in terms of hobbies. I have hundreds and hundreds of blessings, and just living in the UK, I'm better off than you know, lots and lots of people in the world, and it's so easy to forget that. So I just wanted to just do that, and to show some appreciation for all the parts of my body that work: my eyes, my ears, my nose, my mouth, my lungs, my stomach, my intestines, my legs, my arms. You know, just that is amazing, and I'm really grateful for that, and I appreciate that when I remember to do so. I wanted to precede that before I go in and having a go at the whole political, economic and legal systems. And one of my intentions with what I do is to try and make fun of it all, because it is so, on the one hand it's serious, but on the other hand it's so stupid, and it's clever stupid, but it's so ridiculously stupid. There's so much to laugh at, and that, you know, sometimes I forget that, and I kind of forgot that when I was doing this, but still I think it's still worth putting it up, because I think anger as well has its place.
Come out of the building with your hands on your heads. What are you doing in there? You are conspiring to cheat, lie, steal, murder and deceive millions of people in there. Because on June the 9th, the day after the joke that you call the general election, the general delusion you mean, on June the 9th, the following, you will be complicit in the following, just like you were on June the 8th and June the 7th, you flipping criminals. Seriously, I'm sure you're very nice in some ways, just like everyone. You should come here, guys, and arrest these criminals, because these guys are complicit in torture, murder, armed robbery, terrorism, fraud, paedophilia, drug pushing, and of course huge deceit. In this place right now, they are planning to deceive the nation with all their platitudes and vacuous nonsense like making Britain stronger. Really, whatever that means, which it doesn't mean anything, which is why they say it. All the rubbish Theresa May, that arch-terrorist actress, all the stuff she comes out with, it's all fatuous. You can't argue with it because it doesn't mean anything. But I'll tell you what does mean something, you people. The fact that these people are complicit in the murder and torture of 56 billion sentient beings every year just for food. These people are complicit, and have been for the past how many years, in the starvation to death of 21,000 human beings, mostly children, for lack of food, whilst they're part of a situation and a system that throws away 1.3 billion tonnes of food every year. That's a tenth of a tonne of food for each of us, and they allow that to happen. They are complicit in the murder and torture of people in Yemen by supplying arms. Why are you supplying arms to the Saudi Arabian government of all people? They're worse than ISIS. They do it on a regular basis. They cut people's heads off as part of their legal system. You guys are complicit in the armed robbery of the people of Britain by calling it taxation. You're very clever with words, aren't you, the Conservatives? Calling it taxation, but what it really is, ladies and gentlemen, is armed robbery. Because the only way these people can get their way is through violence. They are the initiators of extreme violence. Come out of the building with your hands on your head. We know what you're doing, even if you don't. I suspect they don't actually. Probably think, I'm sure Mike Freer's a lovely guy that you could have a beer down the pub with, even though he's complicit in all these things. 30,000 innocent people last year were imprisoned in detention centres by this lot. Innocent people who've come from places like Eritrea, where they forced children to go into the army for the rest of their lives. This lot put them in detention centres run for profit by companies like Theresa May's one the husband works for, whatever they're called. They initiate extreme violence, harassment, theft and imprisoning of members of our society who've done no harm to anybody. All they have is had some drugs on them or sold some drugs to another consenting adult. They are complicit in the covering up of paedophilia in places of high. They are complicit in the music industry, sexualising children. They're complicit in the pushing of narcotics like alcohol in supermarkets and sugar to children. Supermarkets deliberately, and Cadbury's and companies like that deliberately target children. Children with drugs, because sugar is a proper narcotic. I call it cocaine for kids. The fashion industry, you're complicit in the fashion industry, encouraging body dysmorphia, anorexia and self-hatred. You're complicit in the transfer of property from all of us to the banks using the mortgage system, which is a form of theft. You're complicit in the forced stealing of children from their parents, done by social workers, some of whom have no children of their own. You're complicit in the use of your friends in the media to terrorise the people by creating statistically irrelevant threats like Islamic terrorism and Ebola to distract us from what you guys are doing. You're complicit in receiving bribes from donors in return for favours. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. Can you imagine, like a donor, right? Oh, hello, I'm here to donate £2 million to the Conservative Party. Is that okay? Yes. What would you like in return? Oh, nothing. I'm just a really, really kind man who feels very strongly that Conservative Party is a fantastic way to put £2 million. Really? I mean, there isn't a businessman in the world who would give them £1 million without expecting something in return. That's called business, because they run the biggest company in the country. This is a company they're running, and a very dodgy one at that. They will continue to engage in corruption. Yes, sir. Can I move my bike? Why should I move my bike? Is it a problem? Oh, it's your property, is it? Oh, I'm sorry about that. No, I'm not going to move my bike. I'm really sorry. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'll move my bike when you stop doing all these things. Murdering, lying, torturing, and you have the audacity to ask me to move my bike, which is not doing anybody any harm. Get a life. What you do, call the police? Probably would. We'll put it past them. I'm causing obstruction. I'm causing obstruction, I should bugger off. I'm sorry for giving you a headache. Am I the idiot who also comes into the Apple store? I'm the person, yeah. I'm an idiot. Do I have a job? Should I have a job? Do you think I should get a job? You think I should do something more important? Okay. What do you do? Then standing in the middle of the road causing an obstruction. Can you please explain to me in what way? Oh, I'm probably on private property. Yes, I'm standing here. It's terrible, isn't it? Can you tell me where the obstruction is exactly?
Well, you're standing here.
Yes, who am I obstructing? I'm obstructing you. No, you're free to go, please. Off you go now, come on. I've heard your opinion. Thank you for sharing. You know what opinions are like. Everyone's got one. Yes. Why don't I do? Why don't I bugger off? It's not a very nice way to speak to you. Do you normally speak to people like that? Only idiots?